Good morning, everyone. Welcome back into North Dakota today. Well, if you are looking for a new set of wheels, then stick around for this one. Tony from Capital Credit Union is here to share what you need to know when buying a vehicle. Welcome, Tony.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
Yeah, of course. We love having you on. And I have to admit, I do need a new car, so I'm excited for this segment.
There we go. We'll have to come see me and we'll get you all set up.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are some important things to consider when looking to buy a vehicle?
Well, when I meet with our members, the first thing is how much do you want to spend per month? What are you comfortable with? Because it's easy to go to the car lot and be like, oh, I want this car, and then end up kind of busting your budget.
Yep.
And be like, oh, I don't want that $600 car payment or whatever. So I think the first thing is to get pre-approved. You can apply right online at capcu.org or set up a meeting with one of our loan officers. And do that and just see what you qualify for, see what your rate is, because obviously that's going to be dependent on your credit score and so forth, and the age of the vehicle sometimes, or the mileage if it's high miles. And just sit down and kind of get an idea of like, okay, I want a $400 payment, then you should look for a $25,000 car because this will be your rate and so forth.
Yeah, so this is something that you would talk about with the member.
Absolutely, yep, yep. So you just want to be comfortable with where you're at so you don't go in and, you know, sometimes they were like, oh, I want a $200 payment, and they send me over a $30,000 car. Well, unfortunately, the math doesn't work out. So we want to get some realistic expectations on there before we go in there and kind of get our heart set on a car.
Definitely. I think it would be easy to fall in love with something on the lot.
It is, yeah.
Definitely. So you mentioned the process of getting pre-approved. Do you want to kind of fill us in more about what that is?
Sure. So basically just you can apply online or you can set up an appointment with one of our loan officers and we can pull the credit and see where you're at for credit score and debt to income ratio and kind of see what you qualify for. And that way you know going in like, okay, I'm pre-approved for $20,000. So you just want to make sure that you know, you're approved, you know what your rate is, kind of know what you qualify for, and it just makes the car shopping process a lot easier.
Yeah, probably a little bit more fun too.
Exactly, yeah. That way you can kind of focus your search.
Absolutely. So what is gap coverage?
So gap coverage is, say you buy a $20,000 car and we do a loan for $20,000 and say you end up totaling it out. Well, insurance may only give you like $17,000.
Okay.
So now you're $3,000 upside down on the vehicle. So now what do you do? So gap coverage covers the gap from what insurance would give you to what's owed on the vehicle. So we offer gap insurance, usually about half the price of dealerships. It's $449. And we also have what's called deductible reimbursement. So I always say this, say it's AC out like it always is.
Yep.
And you hit a tree. It's not totaled out, but you got like $3,000 damage. So when you file your claim, we refund your deductible up to $500 for life of the loan. So not only is it typically about half the price dealerships, you also have that additional coverage, and it helps the member because, oh geez, I don't want to file a claim because I don't want to pay the deductible. It covers that, and it just covers you all around to make sure that if the worst were to happen, you know, you're not upside down on the loan.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never heard of that. Is that something that's kind of unique to Capital Credit Union?
No, it's been around. You can get them at the dealerships and what have you. And it's been around for quite a while.
Okay.
Yep. So I would encourage that if you're not putting in money down in the vehicle, kind of a no-brainer to get the gap coverage. Yep. And then also before you get, if you find a vehicle, I always say shoot me the VIN number and the make and the model. So let's say it's on the lot for $22,000 and I pull up the value and I'm like, hey, it's only worth 20. So kind of give them some info to negotiate because you don't want to pay over high book value because typically the amount of loan we can do is based on the book value. So if it's worth 20 and they want 25 for it, well, that's overpriced. So it kind of helps. We kind of help our members out in a lot of different ways by getting them pre-approved, finding the value, talking about gap coverage. And then we also have warranties. So our warranties, I typically say, you know, are quite a bit less than most dealerships. And that's always nice. I mean, I always get a warranty on my car because something goes, it's $800,000. So it's kind of that peace of mind. So, you know, hey, if something breaks down, I don't have to worry about it. And all of a sudden I got a $3,000 repair out of the blue. So lots of things to think about when you go buy a car, not just, hey, I'm gonna go buy a car, but some things you can do, and it's not rocket science, but it's good. Obviously, we do this every day, so we can kind of help navigate through that process.
Yeah, I think when you're really looking for a car, it's a big purchase and a big decision. So having someone in your corner who may be a little bit more knowledgeable or can help you pull up that background information is really beneficial.
Absolutely. Yep. I always say before I did this, I did mortgage financing for 10 years. And every time I bought a car, I felt like, oh, geez, I kind of felt like I didn't know what I was doing and I got a bad deal. So it's always nice to have somebody in your corner that does this every day and can kind of walk you through the process.
Absolutely. Well, this is just one of the things that Tony can help you out with at Capital Credit Union. What else should people reach out to you for?
Well, again, we do home equity loans are really big with a lot of people staying in their homes. We have some fantastic CD rates. We have 5.25 on new money right now. So I would suggest, talk to one of our loan officers. We have Lauren and we have Eric now, who's the loan officer. So, any of your needs, come check us out for deposits, home equity loans, the car loans, you name it.
Absolutely. And how can someone get in contact with you?
They can reach out to one of our branches. The 13th is fully up and functional. Yeah, the remodel's done. We also are off Veterans Boulevard and 32nd. Or then go to capstu.org and you can apply right online and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Tony. I always learn something when we're sitting on the couch. So
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having me again.
Of course. All right, everyone, stick around. We have much more coming up on today's show.